forward to. So anyways, so tonight we're going to actually talk about stop motion news. There's actually a lot of stuff going on right now. And let me fix my chair here. And there's actually, there's artists that have released some stop motion animations out there. But there's also some good news and also some bad news. So that's kind of unfortunate that there's bad news to talk about, but we will get to that in a bit. So first off, we're going to check out this here, which is called Welder, My Octopus Mind, and it's a music video that Roos Matar worked on. So if you guys aren't sure who Roos is, Dan Metal Madcat, who is our webpage translator from Spanish to English, he's translated quite a number of our articles. And so Roos used to date Dan for a while, and I think she went off to another country or something, or just started working at like a different studio, and things kind of fell apart for them. But she's been working in stop motion for how many years now? I'm gonna say, well, I'm gonna take a guess, about 6 years or so, in terms of a professional kind of way. And so Roos's Vimeo, before we look at this, we'll click on her name and you can sort of see a lot of the stuff she's done. So let's see. So if you want to check her out, it's Roos Matar, Mattaar. And like I said, she's been working professionally for a long time, and it's kind of her, I believe it's her career. And that's a rare thing that people actually get to, do this kind of thing for a living. And so it looks like she hasn't really posted a lot on her Vimeo page. Let's see here. So her earliest one would be this. So this is 6 years ago. So I think I'm pretty close to guessing her time in stop motion correctly. But anyways, let me go back to there we go. So this is a new music video that she put out, and the quality is really, really good. And I'm not really sure if I'm going to get a copyright strike from playing this. So we're going to play maybe the first 30 seconds of it and kind of see what it looks like. And it's actually really nice. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but you guys can check it out on her Vimeo page. And what I'll probably do is I'm gonna post the link to this in maybe our Facebook page after the show. I don't know if let's see here. I don't know if Hoserlu would post this as a news article, because it's not really a newsworthy, I guess, piece. Although it could be, but there are a lot more other articles that we want to kind of get through tonight. And so I don't know why this was posted so late. This was posted here, I guess it was updated. So it says updated 24 May 2019. So I did a search for stop motion news, and this came up, and I thought there must be some new pictures that we haven't seen. And this is for, of course, Isle of Dogs. Let's see here. So Wes Anderson's Isle of Dogs designers reveal years of work in bringing stop motion to life. So I'm not really sure when this was originally posted, but I wondered, there must be something different that we haven't seen before. So I thought we'd kind of go over it. And it says here, for 26 months, graphic designer Erica Dorn fashioned hand-drawn Japanese typography for tiny objects you might recognize from the immaculate sets of Wes Anderson's film Isle of Dogs. The label of a sake bottle, for instance, the delicate lettering on bone-shaped dog biscuits, the painted menu in the ramen bar. Meanwhile, a team of 68 puppet makers, which swelled up to 100 during busy periods, led by head of puppets Andy Gent, inserted thousands of individual eyebrow hairs into puppets with a tiny needle. So can you imagine that? So each one of these puppets, which has little hairs in there, has to be individually inserted. So that is just that's a tedious job. Hey Randy, welcome to the show. So elsewhere, head painter Angela Keeley painted an estimated 22,000 singular freckles for the American exchange student Tracy Walker, whose character is voiced by Greta Gerwig, with each of her 50 facial variations requiring the repainting of her 300 freckles. So this is one of the weird things about animation. So I mean, like Walt Disney, I believe when he was designing Mickey Mouse, they actually limited the number of little things on their body that they'd have to redraw. So like on the hands, on the gloves, they had these little stripes, like 3 little lines. Things like that they would kind of cut back on because of the amount of time it takes. But I guess on this production, they were just like, hey, you know what? We need 300 freckles on this, on one individual replacement face. We're going to do it for every replacement face. I mean, it's just insane, really. But the quality is, of course, turned out amazing. And so, yeah, I mean, you guys pretty much know the rest of this stuff, I think. It's 24 frames a second. But this is designer Erica Dorn, and it says here, Isle of Dogs was Anderson's second foray into stop-motion animation following Fantastic Mr. Fox in 2009, and remarkably is Dorn's first film project. So it's her first time working in stop-motion. Brought on initially to create Japanese lettering and type, Dorn became the lead graphic designer after Annie Atkins, the Grand Budapest Hotel, went on maternity leave. So here you can see the way that she had to draw each of these by hand, and this here was animated in stop motion. So I don't know if they like penciled it onto the paper, and then as it was drawn in, like digitally, or would show. I mean, I kind of know how they probably did this, but it's kind of interesting that they tried to really get these letters to be nice and exact and make sense. So I guess if you're in Japan and you're watching this, all this is readable, So, I mean, they could have done it so many other ways, but they really didn't try to do it the easy ways, right? It's like 300 freckles. Gotta make sure all the Japanese characters are, precise. So a lot of thought went into this, and even though you guys might not be able to read that, and I can't read that, somebody out there does know that it makes sense. So here's some of the designs, and it says a storyboard of the noodle bar scene with areas requiring typography and graphic design highlighted in yellow. So all these yellow areas would be something that she would have to, fill in with. Maybe this is like noodles, and then this is I don't know, wraps or something like that. Not entirely sure. But it says here scale model interpretation of the noodle bar storyboard, and here's the final image of what they had. Let's see if I can make that bigger. There we go. Maybe even larger than that so we can fill the screen. So would you guys even be able to notice this, like what's written on the side for the menu? I mean, it's something that's not even truly in focus in the shot. So I think that would be like one of those things where it's there, and you're if you have OCD or something, you're like, yeah, I know that's exact. I don't have to worry about it. But I think you could have just scribbled anything in there, and probably gotten away with it. That is, of course, unless there's another angle which shows it in more detail. But still, I mean, it's just really amazing that they put all this detail there. The lighting is pretty fantastic as well. So Jason says, Isle of Dogs renewed my faith in big budget stop motion films. It's so beautiful and keeps the authentic stop motion look with minimal CGI. Yeah. See, that's the thing. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. With regards to Laika. There is some news that I found. Maybe we'll get to that next. Oops. So let's see here. So it says the devil is in the details. So here you can see the shot where they're, the chef is chopping up everything, and this is like a, little. It's like a full-size hand, right, with a glove. It says Isle of Dogs runs 110 minutes. Of course, it's not relevant to the photo, unfortunately. But it says here, veteran puppet designer and model maker Gent believes that stop motion offers directors like Anderson the greatest possible way of enjoying a level of detail and control. You have to make everything in a stop motion world. You can't just buy things off the shelf. Which is partly true, but you can buy stuff. The 101-minute film is what Gent calls the most ambitious stop-motion film ever made by hand, featuring 1,100 puppets with 4,000 different faces, 240 sets, and a 1-minute-long sushi-making scene that nearly broke several animators. And this, I believe I've seen this where might have been like a director or somebody stopping in, and like if you could pause it. Let me see here. I guess there's no way to. Yeah. If you it only goes through per second. There was only one thing I noticed, and I wasn't really sure if this was part of how things were supposed to be. So if you look at the crab, it's like it kind of moves at one point. The head part over here. So I don't know if he was animating it moving around or if it was something else. I'd have to look at the actual shot, but either way, it's amazing. So it says here, reflecting on the moment when a puppet finally gets handed over to an animator after 18 weeks, Gent Gidley says that when you first see a test of your character and he's not even fully finished, but he's walking, and for that hour and a half, it's alive with the rest of us. It's brilliant. Then it goes on to cultural appropriation, which, oddly enough, most Japanese people don't even have that sort of issue in Japan. That's like an American thing mostly. But some amazing puppets. See if we can zoom on this one here. So yeah, pretty awesome. Hey, Weebeast. Alright, so now on to... see if am I going to be able to read this? Okay. So we'll go on to Laika here, and I'm going to post that later. Okay, so this was posted on June 5th. It says here that Laika splits with its CFO after new film bombs. And we kind of talked about this as a group when we were, trying to figure out if maybe Laika was venturing too far into making things look digital when, is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And of course, there were some marketing issues with Laika that we also kind of discussed, and a lot of people were saying that they weren't really promoting Missing Link as aggressively as something like Coraline, and not a lot of people supposedly heard about this film. And it kind of, the opening bombed, which, the fact that they can make $1 million or more in an opening is miraculous, But, according to all the box office records and what other films have done in their opening weekends, it's technically, it's not a good sign for Laika financially. And Randy's saying that knowing that writing won't show up easily in a film, I put goofy labels on all of the dozens of mini products from my convenience store ads, like Alka-Salsa, the hot and spicy antacid. Alka-Salsa, that sounds good. I mean, maybe if you want, heartburn, you might take that, but but yeah, I guess the devil is in the details, right, Randy? But so anyway, so the article is so Mike Rogaway from the Oregonian wrote this piece, and so I guess that he probably asked some people in the higher ups at Leica, maybe a director or maybe one of the producers, and said, what's going on, and can you give us any information? And they said that Leica has parted ways with finance chief Brad Wald, the latest sign of trouble at Phil Knight's Hillsboro Animation Studio. So, this is like, it's not the kind of news you want to get, but I think the writing was on the wall, and most of us predicted this, that they might run into trouble. And it says, neither Leica nor Wald responded to repeated inquiries seeking comment. So, I guess maybe they did try to, I don't know if somebody put out a press release about this, or how they really found out about it. But it says, multiple people familiar with the events confirmed his exit. So, and Leica has removed his profile from its online list of studio executives. Wald's individual page is still live and continues to identify him as Chief Financial Officer. Oops, no, it's not. The studio's newest stop-motion venture, Missing Link, grossed less than $17 million at the U.S. box office following its April premiere. That's despite a big debut on more than 3,400 screens. A hefty marketing campaign, which, unfortunately, most of us, I didn't really know about it until late in the game. I did hear about it when it was announced that they were working on it, but afterwards I didn't. And a cast that included Zach, and Hugh Jackman and Emma Thompson. So, I don't know how to pronounce his name, unfortunately. But it says, Leica figures to take a big loss on the film. It hasn't disclosed how much it spent on Missing Link, but public records show it spent $63 million in Oregon, making its last movie in 2016, or $63 million. So $63 million. All right, I gotta check something out here. So if we figure out. So Missing Link. How much has it totally made then? Oof. So the last April Missing Link. So it's still making money. I'm sure it's still in theaters across the world somewhere. But yeah, the highest number unadjusted gross is 16 million, right? So that could be like, let's say they make 20 million, it would be a 40 some odd million loss, maybe $43 million. Not good. So, and marketing will add considerably to the total cost. So they're still marketing it. Trade publication Variety estimated the studio spent more than $13 million in advertising Missing Link on TV in the weeks before its release. Leica's struggles at the box office come as Netflix is moving into its territory, developing at least 3 prominent stop-motion animation films, 2 of which will be shot in Portland. Netflix's films are creating direct competition for Leica, pulling people from the Hillsboro studio to work on other projects. At the same time, Netflix's push into stop-motion could indicate streaming video may be a more fruitful path for the niche film-making technique, which I think most of us would probably agree with that, right? Leica has produced 5 films in the last decade, all of which won critical plaudits. All the prior films landed Oscar nominations, too. So I think that's all I'm going to read about that. So we are going to get into Netflix territory also, and there's some stories about one that I just found out about recently, yesterday. And so here's a... Oh. Is this really from July 2014? So I wonder why John Howardine just posted this. Okay, I'm a little bit confused now. Why did he just post this? Super Vago. Alright. Well, anyways, let me just quickly scan this here. So I'm not entirely sure why he posted that. Alright, so I'm going to skip that story. And unfortunately I posted that on our Facebook page. Alright, well we'll go on to this Netflix story. So I did find one important bit about Netflix. So it says here that Netflix is unveiling Willoughby's City of Ghosts, Gaoku, and Mama K's Team 4. And so I noticed the photo here is definitely CG, but when I read further down, it says here that Netflix will produce animated shows in CG, 2D, or which are hybrids, hand-drawn or stop-motion, and so on. So it says here that Netflix has a studio and a production hub in Hollywood today, but its ambition is to create a support structure for best-in-class creators from all over the world. And the way that I take this is that Netflix is going to just keep continuing to support people like us, like those of you watching this here, that might have smaller studios, but ideas that are really good, and instead of like Hollywood, which is constantly remaking films over and over and over again, they're kind of venturing into this uncharted territory of just supporting the little people out there. And it says here that what is Netflix looking for? Variety asked, and she goes on to say that great creators who can execute their vision, but we don't have any guidelines. So, I mean, this is really awesome. And what Netflix is essentially doing is they're trying to compete with Amazon and Hulu and all these other companies that are trying to create a streaming service for movies and television shows and rare films that are from overseas, like anime and things like that. So it says here that, so logically enough, most of Netflix's presentation was given over to a panel of creators with shows set up at Netflix whose origins, styles, and ambitions spoke loud of Netflix's push into diversity. So, I mean, again, that's great for even if you're like a brick filmer. I don't know. I'm not sure if like Lego would allow brick filmers to take part in something like this, but if you're trying to pitch a project, it could be something that you put together with your hands, and there's a high probability that they'll actually take what you do seriously, as opposed to if you were trying to go to Fox or MSNBC or one of these kind of bigger corporations, or ABC, or even Adult Swim, for example. Any of these kind of stations that might want you to do commercials or ads or short films or any of that kind of stuff. So, but I do believe that they are going to focus mostly on films, of course, because that's what Netflix is about. So yeah, it just seems like they're just pushing for that, and I think there was another one on here. Let me see. Was it this one? No, it wasn't that one. But anyway, what do you guys think about that? I mean, does that kind of excite you in terms of, there's more possibilities out there for people to express themselves? I mean, we had Anthony Scott on here for the Little Prince, that film which Netflix released. And what was the other one? That was the film where it was in the carnival. My friend Webster animated on that as well. Was it from like Hell and Back or something like that? But I didn't really care for that one. That was really edgy, but I thought the writing was really just, yeah, kind of stunk. Alright, so another thing that I posted on our Facebook page. Who was it that gave this to me? Can't remember his name now. But it says here, watch amusing stop-motion Godzilla PSA made for Alamo Drafthouse. And it says here, you talk, you text, you get atomic breath. Don't talk or use your phone in the theater or Godzilla destroys you. The Alamo Drafthouse movie theater chain puts out fun PSA videos almost every week connected with new releases reminding patrons about their strict no talking, no texting policy. So I don't know if you guys have been to an Alamo Drafthouse. They're actually pretty cool. A lot of them will serve, alcohol. A lot of them will give you food like hamburgers and chicken fingers or whatever. And it has a certain feel to it that is different than most movie theaters. A lot of the times they have like really big seats. They give you a little table and you can just chill out. And it's a nice environment to watch a movie in. And I think the reason why they do that is simply because of the fact that most people are watching streaming services. You can buy a 65-inch TV for like $500 or something now. It's like super cheap. But anyways, so they also are open to using people that use stop motion for their intros. So I am going to load this up and we can watch about 30 seconds of it. And if you want to watch the whole thing, check out our Facebook page. But here it is. So there's a little teaser for you, but it's really good, and it says let me see here. So this one is a bit. They partnered with Cressa Beer and Phoebe Jane Hart, who made a goofy stop motion short with Godzilla toys. So it would be kind of cool to maybe Google those people later on and see if I could find their. Let's see. So they have a Twitter here, and they have an official webpage. So let's check these out real quick. Give credit where credit is due. So it's beeragon.org. BEERAGON.org. And we can check out the stuff. It says, I'm a stop motion artist and video producer. I've done work for Alamo Drafthouse and everybody else in the world, it seems like. There's more at the top. Hit me up below. So there's a stop motion section showing the Godzilla PSA, and then also Godzilla Dracula Tad Final. So we got some more toy animation. Goji 11. So it looks like Godzilla is a prominent character in most of her animations. This one looks pretty interesting. Godzilla Halloween. Goji Bank Final. And we have music videos as well. And Randy says, I like that they added the dirt on the film to make it look retro. Gives it a realistic Godzilla feeling. Yeah, it's true. I noticed that as well. So it looks like we got some live action stuff going on here as well that she's worked on. And there's also a document section, which it's more live action. So that's really cool, though. I mean, videos, yeah. Got that already. Brandon content. And the other one is Phoebe's page. And this is, so PHOEBE Jane, Jane, Hart, HART.com. And we got lots of cool stuff in here. Lots and lots of stop motion, which is awesome. Click on the About real quick. It says here, Phoebe's focus is experimental animation. She is passionate about tiny sets and puppets. She has designed and fabricated sets for stop motions including clients Nighthawk Cinema and After Dark Toronto Film Festival. And Alamo Drafthouse, I guess. And she continues to explore many avenues, including animation, miniatures, painting, performance art, and production design. It's really awesome. Got some fabrication stills. This reminds me of stuff that they were doing at Dragon Frame. It's like paper cutout stuff. But that's neat. They've got like rivets in the paper. That's how most of these are usually made, and then like maybe some watercolor type, like thick paper for painting on, you know. And let's see what else. So it's a very stylized sort of animation. We get some puppets. And it looks like what she did is she used an actual painting in the background. So this is all completely painted. And we got a stagecoach. Probably some replacement clay mouths there. Very cool. Let's see what else we got down here. More of a gothic looking set. Not sure if those are actual like light bulbs in there or something, but that would kind of make sense. Let's see. Hard to say. Could be wrapped in something. There's some LEDs in there or something like that. Here's a look at the paper cutout animations. It's pretty neat. So she's got like these little replacement eyes as well. Mouths. Okay, I think that is this from the Alamo Drafthouse? Maybe not. Oh, okay, there's the Dracula. And again with Godzilla drinking a some sort of a soda. So she's very talented as a painter. It's like most of the set is just a painting, and then we've got some actual three-dimensional, maybe styrofoam and balsa wood, or actually I'm going to say that's probably poster board, this strip there or something. Pretty neat. And I'm guessing that's not for stop motion. Alright. I think you guys know what that is already. And so behind the scenes, a lot of stuff on here. This is really cool, actually. It's a really well put together site. Lots of photos that we kind of already saw. Toothy folks. Let's click on that. Nice. Some drawings. Graphics. So I don't want to spend too much time on this page, but it's definitely, you know, Phoebe Hart is, PhoebeJaneHart.com is what her page is. And yeah, so it's another fellow stop motion artist worthy of checking out. Okay. So another piece of news: Aardman builds stop-motion puppet kit. It says here that the studio behind Wallace and Gromit is lending its expertise to students and budding filmmakers through its partnership with Animation Toolkit. It says here that stop-motion expert Aardman is lending its name to a new puppet-making toolkit geared at students and professionals. The Bristol, UK-based production company has linked up with global retailer Animation Toolkit to launch the kits online. Designed and created by Animation Toolkit, the Aardman kit will feature 6 products, including a character, creature, and rigging kits. And it says they can be used to form puppet armatures, anatomically correct metal engineered skeletons. The kits range from price US $19 to $165 and are available for pre-sale on the Animation Toolkit website until June 5th, when each offering will be sold on Amazon. So here's their page. So you guys will probably recognize this stuff already. So we did actually sell their kits. Let's see here. So I did sell his kits. You guys might recognize this as well. So this is actually not too much different. In fact, the only difference between this and the Ray Harryhausen Armored Creature, I believe it was called, is that they've added some flat pieces to grab the armature by. I believe that Wes he's got the same joints as always in there. Same feet. Yep, same kit as what Ray Harryhausen used to have his name on. So it's actually nothing new. There were some people that did complain a lot about these. I'm not trying to put his armatures down, but we did discontinue selling them. And you guys can look that up, elsewhere. But pretty interesting though that these are actually pretty good armatures, all in all, especially for beginners. So if you guys are interested, it is going to be at animationtoolkit.com. Okay, so let's see how much time we have. About 20 minutes left. All right, let's go to a Brick Film story because a lot of people out there do like Lego characters to animate because they're so easy to pose, and there's a large community of people that are very much into Brick Films. I'm not really sure if brickfilms.com is still around. I'm sure they are in some degree. But it says here that, well, it's kind of a long story. But to get to the point, it's about the moon landings, and let's see, I'll kind of scan this real quick. But anyway, it's about the team that did all the work behind the scenes. In particular, the woman that I believe created the computer code to get us there. And so we're talking about old school computer code that would have been for the first computers. Just a little side fact: there's a bunch of guys that are taking the modules from the Apollo mission that held all the computer code, and they're actually fixing them up and testing them out on modern equipment just to make sure that they still work, and they're trying to preserve them. You can check that out on the internet, believe it or not, on YouTube.
A new moon is in the sky.
But let's watch it. It's only a minute long.
Placed in orbit by a Russian rocket.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Apollo 11 is man's first attempt to demonstrate the ability to go to the moon, to land there, and to return to Earth. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Okay, so let's see if we can find the web page. Here we go for this as well, because this is where you can watch it. And it says Hack the Moon. It goes into the people behind it, the tech, the missions, as well as media education. So thinking, let's see, where would I find it exactly? So here's Margaret Hamilton. Maybe this would be where we could find it. Some really cool old photos. Yeah, the Apollo missions are really a fascinating thing. I don't know if you guys have ever gone to a museum and checked out the capsules and stuff that they flew up to the moon in, and but man, it is so cool to see. We went to see Liberty Bell 7 in St. Louis when they had that on exhibit, and yeah, it was just. So where is the video? Let's see. You're around here someplace. Oh yeah, here's the modules. You can actually see that. That's what they look like. And yeah, there's actually people that are working with these today, which is neat. Anyway, I can't find the video, unfortunately. Maybe it's here. WeHackTheMoon.com. Is this the same place? Yeah, it's the same place. Well, darn, I wanted to show you guys something, but... maybe it's here. If I can find it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a link to it. So this is the same video. Okay. So maybe that's the whole thing, is just the 1 minute piece. Okay. Well, anyway, still pretty awesome, right? Okay, so anyways, guys, got about 15 more minutes left. Now I can either talk about more news, or we can talk about your stuff. Does anybody want me to put up any of your pictures or show anything, perhaps, that you've been up to? Whoops. Let's see if I can. Oh, there we go. So if you do, just go ahead and post it in the chat, and I can talk about it. But this one says, watch Ji Wang's cute stop-motion short, The Quintet of the Sunset. And this was posted on June 6th on firstshowing.net. And so this is actually a really ambitious, one of the more ambitious projects. It says here, in this twilight of our life, we just went through a gap in the endless flow of time. Cat lovers, this short is for you. The Quintet of the Sunset is a lovely fabric stop-motion animated short film. This short won the Vimeo Staff Pick Award at the 2019 Cannes Film Festival Short Film Corner just last month, which is why it has been given an online premiere right away. So normally, with films that do the festival circuit, these have been completed usually, a year or so in advance of its release on the internet. So, it's kind of it's kind of rare to see something while it's actually out there. But it says here, made by Chinese filmmaker, animator Ji Wang, the film is about a woman with 5 cats, each with their own personality, or rather, the 5 cats take care of her. With impeccable craft and style, this Chinese animator creates a fantastical world where cats become the characters we've always imagined, from assassins to superstars, both playful and poetic. This animated short shifted our perspective and made us fall even more in love with our furry feline friends. A tender little film. So, let's see, wait. Did I open it up? There we go. So, this is called The Quintet of the Sunset, of course. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this as well. Let's see. I'm going to post Welder and this one on our Facebook pages. Probably I'll post one tonight and then one tomorrow. We'll watch just a little bit of it, so you can kind of get an idea of what it's about, hopefully.
Hi，我们是猫，我们的寿命最多15-20年，而人类好像是一直可以活下去的两脚怪。这是里奥，他是一个杀手，他总是神经很紧绷，要一直确保没有人在跟踪他，只有跟基娜待在一起，他才能彻底放松。他有时也会准备一些小礼物。在利奥眼里，基娜是世界上最阳光的小女孩。
So you can already tell it's really funny just from the beginning, and so this one is it's about, how long is it? I mean, roughly 7 minutes. You know, if you don't include the credits, and so if I can. If there's any other information. So there is, if you would like to discover Realwood Studios' other films, please find here below their Vimeo account and website. So it's vimeo.com/Realwood, and it's realwoodanimation.com, and you can see some of their what looks to be really quite intricate puppets, very detailed, very expressive. Just from a quick glance here. Some stylized. Got some clay animation here, which is generally always rare, but yeah, it looks really pretty darn good actually. Oh, okay, this is, never mind. I already opened that. So, realwoodanimation.com. And so they have it what appears to be in both English and maybe Mandarin Chinese, I think. We got news, history, routine, working, and jobs. So this is something that I could post in our studio links on our website. It looks like, you know, they have a jobs section. Let's just quickly click that. So I mean, if you are, you know, if you're Chinese American and you already know the language, maybe you immigrated here or something like that and would like to work in the studio, this kind of gives you a linguistic advantage. So, you know, if you can understand what they're saying, but got animation, we got prop making. We've got more prop making here. This reminds me of Aardman's Adam. I think it's called Adam. It had a planet like that. We've got costume making. We've got a props room. Filming room. Puppets look really good. Costume room itself. And Reddy says that quintet looks incredible. Have to check it out. It all looks pretty darn good. And there's a brick film right here, actually. So they've kind of done everything. They've got clay, brick, and I couldn't really tell immediately, but Oh, okay. So I guess this is not specifically their work, though. This is Justin Rash, I think, here, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It's Justin and Shell. Very cool, very cool. So they actually, they've been paying attention to a lot of the animators out there. That's great. Jobs. Our servicer. What is your servicer, sir? Services. Okay. They've got collaborative film and television projects. Realwood Stop Motion Animation Studio is mainly dedicated to the animation production for a wide range of film and television programs. We also produce complete film and television works, titles of programs, trailers, and works for promotional and release. Commercial projects. They can promote your stuff, basically. And originals. Realwood Stop Motion Animation Studio has been striving for the production of animation works with new animation languages, new content material, improved motion capture techniques, as well as independent intellectual and property rights. We do not only maintain our strength in stop motion animation work with martial arts and action as themes, but also extend our focus on new subjects and audiences of all ages. So I guess that they're known for action type films. It seems like, if they're trying to explain it that way. And Jason says Alba Garcia is getting really excited lately because she's just finishing her shooting after a few years of work on her short. Cool. You know, Alba has been working on so many projects. It's hard to keep up. So, do you know which film it is, Jason? That you're referring to? Because I know she wants to start another one as well that is about the detention of children at the border, which is, loosely based around, what my film is based around, Bad Apples, which we couldn't get to that tonight because I've been really super busy. But I know she has a lot of ideas and a lot of enthusiasm, and she's trying to do everything at once all the time. So, including like hand puppetry. I know she recently did a head cast for somebody. Yeah, she's just all over the place. Such a passionate person. Probably, I have to say, Alba is the most passionate person, artistically speaking, that I probably know. Okay, so anyways, I want to click on one last thing here. Got about 5 minutes left. So this is released by Yelissu Films. So it says here, Yelissu Films is a production and world sales company based in Paris. Our core business is to develop products with a strong co-production potential with Asia. Okay, read more here. And Europe as well. So I guess they try to bridge the gap and get films known and released out there in the film circuit. That's very cool. Okay. So Dangerously Ever After. Okay. Yeah, she's had so many issues with that film. I know, space was the major one. Not having enough space. And I'd like to know how she probably, I'm guessing she probably solved that with a lot of green screen. But that's really cool. I mean, yeah, I donated some money to that about how many months back? Maybe 4 months ago. It's going to be awesome to see. I mean, let's see here. Okay, 8:56. All right. So yeah, let me open some of her work up real quick. I'm going to do this real fast. Oh, wait a sec. See if I can find out where she said that. dangerously ever after. Oop, my wife's calling. She always calls when I do a live show. Okay. Yeah, let's show her page, because if you guys have not seen Alba's work, you know, it's high quality, it's unique. In fact, you know, I would consider Alba somebody, you know, worthy of trying to promote her stuff on Netflix, like perhaps even this film, just because it fits into what they're looking for, you know, like a different kind of film that is unique, high quality. And her, I don't know if it's her husband or boyfriend, Julio, have been, you know, just really putting out some really awesome quality stuff. And it says here we have 9 minutes and 20 seconds of animation. Cool. So it says here on June 8th, new photo shoot, Princess Amanita's dress for the beginning scenes we will shoot this weekend, and her trusty crossbow. Dashka Slater is the author. So Dashka is the, so what Alba has done is she's worked with Dashka, who wrote the book itself, and she's essentially adapting the book into an animation. So here you can see with the little crossbow. And I know they used silicone, and the faces are 3D printed, I believe. And then what she was trying to do at one point was to put a live action sort of face on these puppets, but I think that kind of went to the wayside, or maybe this is the only face that they used, but they were still superimposing the face. I can't really remember now. It's been a long time since we talked about it. And Jason says there's a lot of posts to do. She had flooding issues too. Oh. Yeah, Alba's always running into issues, but she's always overcome them, so. So June 8th. Next scene in progress, I believe she meant to say, at Prince Florian's cat. And Prince Florian's cat. So we have the cat with replacement faces. Okay, so this is what I was trying to get back to. So what they're doing is they were trying to save money, because the last film that they made, they used a lot of replacement faces, and the cost was extremely expensive. So what they were doing here is using these dots, I believe, to align the CGI face is what it was. Okay, it was CGI faces, right? Yeah, I was wrong about saying live action faces. Here's their cat. And that's one of the 3D prints. You can sort of see the lines in there. This almost looks like an FDM printer made this, but it's so fine. Here's their castle. And one of the people that tried to help out, his name was Lester, and he was actually murdered, which is a crazy thing. Such a rare thing that you ever hear that anyway, but really super talented guy. And I got to talk to him quite a bit when he was working on the sets. But so kind of sad news. So I mean, this production, it seems so dramatic, doesn't it? Like flooding issues, a murder. And also Alba had, I think, lost her job, temporarily with the post office because of some political stuff that went on. I mean, it's really crazy. But so yeah, so the production company that she's created is called Fantasiation. And let me see, I'm going to do something else real quick. And this will be the last thing I talk about, because I can see that the time is already past 9. Make sure it works. Okay, so if you go to Fantasiation.com, you can find her webpage. And so she has been, like I said, she worked on a puppet project for a while. which they have a trailer for here. And she's been winning awards, you know. Of course, it's a team effort. It's not just Alba on her own, but award-winning filmmaker. And she has been trying to get an Oscar as well for her work. And I don't know how that's going right now, but you can see she's been on television. A lot of great press for her. And again, so she, I think, was representing Puerto Rico. I can't read the Spanish here, but I if I remember correctly, she was doing that. So very active, very caring person. So yeah, it's definitely somebody to support. So if you guys are, you know, of course, your stop motion animators out there, you know how it works. You know, if you want to check out their webpage and bookmark it and maybe just give them some encouragement, that'd be great. So anyways, that does conclude our show for tonight. I will see you guys next Wednesday. And I believe that means that next Wednesday is before I go, I should probably do a little promoting here. So what I would, if you guys are interested, check out our feedback week. I did create a new thread for the latest one. If you click on the top here, you'll see that there's a link to the latest topic, which will be, so the next one will be June 19. So that's next Wednesday, 7 more days. Feel free to like post your sketches, your ideas, your storyboards, your puppet photos, your animation tests, anything like that you'd like to have feedback on. Or if you have any kind of questions as well, we can discuss it during our next live show. And Jason says, thanks, Mark. She's fun. Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. She is fun. All right, guys. Well, catch you all next week. Have a good creative time working on your projects. See you later.